Welcome, guys. It's another episode of the Neutral Corner. We're back again. It's Big Danny Glover. It's Big Lex. And we're joined today by our special guest, long awaited, but he's finally here. Mr. Slew Them himself,
Jeez.
Craig Spider Richards.
Come on.
How's it going, man?
I'm good. We out here. I'm good.
So what you been up to lately?
Where did I start? Well travelled.
I see you.
Sweden, London, Mexico, the lot, back and forth. We're here now. I'm back to work.
So how was your travels? I see you in the big jungle gym doing mad world's strongest man presses.
Yeah,
with Lex as well. I see.
Yeah. When you're traveling abroad, you got to find a suitable gym. 50 Cent says the first thing he does when he goes anywhere, he finds a gym located to where he's staying to make sure he still gets his work in. That's what you got to do. Make sure there's always a gym. And that was a good one. It's a world famous gym, the Jungle Gym. So I couldn't go to Mexico, Tulum, and not go and experience that gym.
So how did you find out about it exactly?
To be honest, a friend messaged me saying to me, when you go to Mexico, are you going to see the Jungle Gym? So obviously I checked it out and I was like, well, yeah. And I said to Lex, we got to go check out this Jungle Gym when we get down there. And the guys looked after us. And yeah, it was a good experience.
Yeah, man. Big. So, we're going to take it back to the beginning.
Yeah, man. So it's obviously a very long journey you've been on, to now. British title fights, world title fights, eliminator stuff. But let's go back to the roots of how you got into this sport. Obviously, a lot of your fans want to know your story. A lot of your fans already might know your story, but we'll go over it again. How did this all start?
To be honest, first of all, one of my cousins, he was going to boxing, and the holidays I used to do a lot of stuff with him. Okay. So he was going. I followed him down there. So we started boxing, just like something to do, like you pick up things to do in the holidays.
Yeah.
The Boston.
Obviously, then he stopped. I continued. I just liked boxing. Never took it serious as a career. I just liked doing it. Then I left the sport for a while. Distracted, running up and down, doing all what young boys from South London do. And then, funny enough, Danny Glover right here. He shouted me to come up to his gym over in Peckham, the Lim.
Yeah, the Lim.
So I used to go up there and do some rounds with these guys. Still just coming into, still kind of a senior. I think about 16, junior, innit? Yeah, junior.
Youth.
Just a youth, and I used to be sparring with these seniors trying to take advantage of me. Tough love, as they call it.
Yeah.
So we used to be getting the rounds in, the runs around there, around Burgess, the circuit work and that, and I enjoyed it. So I just kept going. Yeah, we used to just go there, mainly just for the sparring and stuff. Obviously, the training comes with it. Fast forwarding, cut along story short, the head coach at the time, Terry Palmer, he then left. And another coach, Sam Mullins, took over. But Terry Palmer was really my guy. So when he left, I kind of faded from the sport a bit. He used to drop me home sometimes and stuff like that. We built quite a good relationship. And then he opened his own academy, Palmer's Academy, a few years on. I bumped into him in the street. He said, come down. At the time, I was trying to find what I wanted to do. I wanted to try and go down the education route, try and do university or something. But, sometimes you got to understand what everything's not for everyone.
Yeah.
So I remember we sat down. I remember one time we sat down at Danny's brother's house. Richard, we all spoke about what we wanted to do. And I said, I want to do boxing. I want to pursue the boxing. And obviously everyone probably didn't think I was too serious about it because I was in and out of the gyms for a while, for many years, and around the sport for a while, but never really competing. And at that moment, I decided that I was going to take it serious. I stopped doing everything I was doing, dedicated myself to the sport. And 2 years in the amateurs, I was there. I went straight to elite after 2 years, only 10 novice fights. And then I decided after that, I need to be training like these guys. And I went and met Tunde Ajayi. Went over there and was training with him, Anthony Yard, etc. All of them, and we used to train like 6 days a week.
And O'Hara Davis.
There was loads. Daniel Dubois ended up coming down as well. He was training down. There was loads of us, good talent stable of us. We used to all mix up and spar. And I was training down there about 8:30 till 3:30, 6 days a week, and then I was going to my amateur club four of the days in the evening, 7 till 10. Dedicated a year to that. A year later, Peter come and watched me. O'Hara introduced me to him. He come and watched me in my last bouts. Contacted me on a Monday, said he'll sign me. Took me training camp Marbella, and then put me onto Eddie Hearn. There was a space on the show, opportunity. I went out there, got the stoppage, knocked him out in 40 seconds, and the rest was history.
Yeah. So obviously, the amateurs, people you'd say, significant people you say that you face in amateurs.
There was a couple guys. I boxed a lot of good elite guys. Obviously, me and Buatsi mixed it up in the amateurs. My first elite fight when I was about 10 novice fights in. We had a good competitive fight, just like the other day. And there was a few others that I mixed it up. It was a good level, and obviously, I was taking these fights before their time, as I do in the pros, and I was learning on the job.
Yeah.
Yet again, like I never ducked or dodged. I remember getting a phone call one day. I was driving around. My coach rang me, said, I usually give you fights on short notice. I said, oh, yeah. What? Friday or Saturday? He said, it was Tuesday. He started laughing. I said, don't tell me Thursday. It was 4 o'clock. He said, oh, actually, tonight. I said, tonight? I said, 4 o'clock. He said, yeah, we've got to be in Central for 7.
Yeah.
Guy was ranked, I think, 2 in the world or something at the time. I was 12 fights in. I said, all right, see you at yours in an hour. I ran home so fast. Had a bagel. Grabbed my shorts. Lucky they was washed. And went to his house and we boxed and we had a really good competitive fight. Thought I'd done enough, the amateurs are like a good fight. But these are sort of the experiences when I was learning the job. Although I had 3 years in the amateurs, I had a lot of hard, tough fights. So when I turned pro and I've been learning the job, it's the same thing. As you look at my resume, within like 20 fights, 7 fights, I was supposedly in 20 fights. 7 of them I was either 50-50 or supposed to lose. And people on matchroom or on with big promoters ain't usually in 20 fights, and 7 of them they potentially could be losing. You're meant to really pad yourself up. 15, maybe 13 to 15 fights, you have your first test. 20 fights in, you have a big fight. But yeah, I've done it obviously the rough and ready way from the start.
Yeah, just to touch back on your amateurs, you won the Haringey Box Cup.
Yeah.
You boxed, was it a Commonwealth gold medalist?
Yeah.
Was he from Scotland or something like that?
I think I boxed him.
Yeah, and then also you was talking about the education route. So what course was it you was doing which you could have ended up,
Well, I got A-levels in double business and financial studies. And then I wanted to go to uni. First of all, I was going to go and try and do civil engineering, but that was different and that wasn't in my field. I just like the money. I saw the money of it. It was like 200k a year. I thought, yeah, let me sign up. But that stuff wasn't as easy as it looked.
Was you ever pressurized to do engineering?
No, I'm honest, I was the last born, so I got away with a lot of stuff. I was never
to be honest, I was the last born. I probably didn't have to, but I kind of wanted to make something of myself. I didn't want to be the typical story. I was trying to make something of myself, find the angles where I could make something, coming from the situations we're in and make something better of myself. But I guess obviously that wasn't my road, and I found my road,
So then what course was it you ended up studying?
I went to accounting and finance, and then they messed up my registration. I originally enrolled to do it part-time. And then I went to a bit of training as well, where I do part-time. And I remember I enrolled in the course and I saw my friend who actually went to my college and then they was doing full-time. And I realized there's only 1 extra lecture a week from full-time to part-time. So I said, this don't make sense. I might as well just do full-time. So 1 more lesson. So I said to the woman, can I change my modules? And she said, look, if you're going to change from part-time to full-time, you got to hand your forms into the business block. So not give it back to her. So I done that, handed it to business blocks. Obviously, I was going class for about a week or 2. I never heard nothing back. So I thought, let me just go to the business block just to double check that they switched me to full time. So I'm not going to extra lessons for no reason. So when I got there, what's your name? No, we can't see no paperwork. What are you talking about? Basically, I lost my paperwork. Told me I got to start all again and re-enroll. Basically, the deadline was just finishing, so I weren't going to get it done in time. So they said, you've got to re-enroll either January or next year. So I was like, what? So I thought, right, in the meantime, as a pastime, I'll go back to boxing. You know what they say, devil makes work for idle hands. I never weren't doing nothing. I knew I was just going to be led astray doing whatever I was doing. So I thought, let me just do something to keep myself occupied. And obviously the ball got rolling, obviously winning the Haringays to South Londons and Londons, whatever, etc. made me end up just loving the boxing. I realised this is the only thing I'm actually passionate about. Now, I wasn't passionate about education. I nicked it here and there, meeting people on courses. People obviously took a liking to me, helped me with a bit of coursework and homework for me. And I was getting through dick and tuck. But I weren't passionate about it. But boxing is something that I didn't need someone to help me this or help me that. I would just dedicate myself to and I was all in.
Yeah, right, yeah. So then going back to your debut now,
Yeah.
so you fought a guy named James Child.
Yeah, James
So
Child.
so how was it like the whole build up to, you know, the walking into York Hall, you know, the looking at the new gloves, testing them out because of different sizes, the whole build up to a pro debut. How was that?
It was mad because, you know, funny enough, I remember like I realized how Peter was so like professional and etc. It was a different energy like when I met him, because straight away he's like, right, you gonna sign? I'm like, yeah. He comes straight away, standard British Board of Boxing forms. Here, this is the forms. But sign this, cool. There was nothing off or anything. We signed that. He said, look, are you free between this date and this date? I said, yeah. He said, yeah, I'm taking you Marbella training camp, everything paid for, just bring your spending money. I was like, oh wow, is this professional life? Before you know it, I'm training in camp. We didn't have a date.
Was this the MGM gym out there?
Gym.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't actually go to, I don't think. No, I'm joking. I know.
Oh shit!
No,
this is many moons ago.
So we just passed by. We didn't know anyone there. Yeah. So we went there, we trained, and then we came back. And I was meant to box on a small hall show originally. I think it was about mid-June. And there was a guy on a Young Gun show who was in our gym. He ended up coming off the show, and there was like 2.5 weeks to 3 weeks notice. Left, and Peter then said, Eddie said, you can jump on the show. And I was like, oh, not sure about this. I said, I want to have more preparation for my time. I think it was like end of May. And he said, trust me, like it's a big opportunity, take it. So I said, all right, I trusted in him. We done a good amount of tickets for it. And I remember when I was walking out, like obviously you say you feel the gloves, you think, oh, I can hurt someone bad in this. And you think, hold on, the guy's probably got the same gloves. You're like, oh, sugar. You're like, nah, this is mad. So you're like, yeah, I've got to be on job now. So you're walking out, and then the reality hits. You look up, you start seeing your auntie you ain't seen for time, your friends from the end you ain't seen for time. You're like, hold on, all them tickets I sold, they actually come to watch me.
Yeah.
You're like, oh. You're like, wow, whatever goes wrong? I was like, oh. And then for some reason, Peter sensed the energy, turned around and said, are you nervous for? I said, huh? What are you talking about? I said, you nervous for? He said, you're talented, you've done the work. He said, today you're just about to go and show the work you've done. Forget everyone else. F everyone. You go and enjoy your debut and show everyone what a talent you are. I was like, yeah, you know what? Let me go and show them what time it is. Remember doing the ring walk, walked out, embraced it, felt good, jumped in the ring. No one told me he's a southpaw. He ran at me, caught him with a check left hook straight away, cut his eye, saw blood. I just jumped on him, and then I got him out. 40-something seconds later, it was done.
Yeah.
He said, welcome to the pro game.
From what I remember, because I was on the balcony that day, and you looked like you jabbed him, and his eye went. And it was just like, all of a sudden it was just over. I was like, oh, bro. So,
yeah, because he ran in on me as I've gone to throw the jab, but he's closed the distance quick. So I like checked it off as I was moving back.
okay.
Obviously, I must have split his eyes. I've checked the left, and then I've seen it, and I said, huh? And I just jumped on him and got him out of there. And yeah, 40-something seconds later, debut was done. 1-0, 1 KO. I was feeling myself.
Yeah.
I started calling out the world after that. I thought, this is the pro game already. Where's the world champions? But yeah.
Yeah, no, that must have been electrifying. So then you had a couple more bouts. Then did you fight on the
Kelbrook?
No, the anti Joshua one? You know that on the midweek one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so basically, yeah. So Anthony Joshua had a public workout on the Thursday for his show on the Saturday, York Hall. And so the whole public obviously was coming for the AJ workout. But what Eddie had done is he gave me and O'Hara Davis basically our own show. So we was the bouts on it, and Anthony Joshua does his public workout, and the others do their public workout on it. So we got to do that live on Sky Sports, and that was my first Sky Sports debut. And I remember, like, it was only fast 3-0 at the time, but we had a guy who's actually the weight above me with a winning record, 10-8, Richard Horton. He had boxed for the Southern Area. I think he boxed for the British. He just boxed, I think his last fight before that was against Callum Johnson, who was 13-0 at the time, a Commonwealth gold medalist. And I'm now super middleweight, the weight below, boxing him on my full fight. So,
and he just boxed also not long before Darryl Williams, who was Southern Area champion, who arguably, by most people's counts, beat Zach Parker.
Yeah. And
So-
he boxed him, I think, for the Southern Area title.
Yeah.
When Darryl was 12-0 for his 13th fight for a Southern Area, and boxed Callum Johnson, who was 13-0 at the time. And then he boxed me, who's 3-0 at the weight below Callum Johnson, for nothing on the show. As I say, that's what I was saying about we were stepping up a bit faster than the other prospects. And I went out there and he came for me. And I remember I pulled back counter, 1-2, put him down, then saw blood again, jumped on him, punched him across the ring, and knocked him out in the first round. And that was my first Sky Sports debut.
Yeah, you had a couple of a little controversy around that fight. People were saying you showed a bit of a nasty streak, where
I'll hit him.
he may have accidentally.
I couldn't tell if he touched down yet or not. I swung the punch. When you're in the moment, you don't know.
We leave that to the referee to work all out.
They say protect yourself at all times. It's either you're down or you're not. I don't know.
Yeah, the ref's got to tell you to hit the neutral corner anyway.
There you go, the neutral corner.
Excuse the pun, but
But that's what I'm saying, and these are the sort of things where I get frustrated as you go, like fast forward in my career, and they say, "Oh, he hasn't shown the nasty side." When I'm coming up, blowing people away, knocking people out, stepping up to light heavyweight, knocking them out all out within 3 rounds. Jake Ball, GB, former GB, getting rid of these guys, knocking them out. British title fight, KOing them, moving forward, stopping a guy who's never been hurt, dropped, or anything like that. KOing them. Stopping them, and then you turn around and say he needs to be more spiteful. How much more spiteful do you want me to be?
yeah. But so then carrying on with that, then you was fighting on the Triple G versus Kelbrook undercard in the Big O2 Arena. How was that?
That was amazing. When Eddie put me on the Golovkin-Kelbrook card, it was like an honor because it was like that was a massive show and O2 Arena. So like I'm now 5 fights in. I think there's only 2 of us prospects on that card who wasn't in the title fight. I think that was me and Conor Bennett at the time.
Oh, Conor was on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So me and Conor was on that card. And I remember it was a decision, either you be a live TV float in a 6-rounder or you go on just before the TV starts on the 4-rounder. But with this float, you can warm up, cool down, and before you don't even get on. And I saw that happen to a few of the boys in our stable on the Anthony Joshua card. 3 or 4 of them actually didn't get on at all, and it was floats. So I thought, I don't want to take that chance. I took on just before the TV, boxed, and burst both his eardrums, cut his eye, won convincingly, and I got to sit down and enjoy the rest of the show, Golovkin versus Kelbrook ringside.
yeah. I remember that actually. You sat here right next to me. I was working that day. So yeah, and then striving forward, you got pitched in surprisingly against former GB fighter, the Avalanche.
Yeah.
How did that come about so quick?
This is what I mean. I remember I was 6 fights in, just got a 2nd round stoppage. Remember Eddie coming to the changing room saying, "Oh, look, you're doing really well. Like, you ready to step up now, aren't you? Ready for?" I'm like, yeah. Caught in a moment before you know it. Seeing announcements. You're fine. Do you want to fight this guy? Obviously, guy's 12-0, 6 KOs. I'm like 6 or 7 fights in at the time. He had like 4 times amateur pedigree than I did. Bookies obviously had him as a massive favourite, and I remember going on Sky Sports and them saying to me things like, "Don't worry when you take your first loss, it's just how you bounce back from it." I was like, wow, who's the prospect here?
Yeah.
Well, he was the prospect.
But this is what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm meant to be the Sky fighter, but yet I'm set up to take my first loss 6 or 7 fights in. This stuff you don't even hear of. And I remember I went in there and I thought, you know what? I had a hard camp. I remember that was the first time I actually trained over at a matchroom gym. I remember a bit of the camp, Pete was away, and I remember because I think he wasn't well at the time, so I trained over at a matchroom gym, and I remember we really pushed it that camp. It was a shock to my body because it's a different training system, but I pushed myself. I remember I was ill through that camp, but I just kept pushing through it, getting the rounds in. So the time I fought that fight, people said as you get to like 7th, 8th round, you're going to feel it, but just you got to work through from there. But when I remember getting off my stool in the 7th round feeling great, I jumped up thinking, I I feel tremendous. I'm ready to go.
What's his name again?
Who? Alan Higgins.
Alan Higgins, that's it.
Alan Higgins, yeah. And we boxed. We had a good competitive fight. And I won my first title 6 or 7 fights in and ripped up the script in the bookies to become Southern Area champion.
Yeah. So how did you feel though during the build up? Because I remember, you know, the famous Don around East London, Martin Bowers. He was passively aggressively trying to intimidate you.
Let's not put any slander out there.
No, it's all for sporting mind games, isn't it? Mind games.
Nah, it was good. You know, I've known Martin Bowers for many years. He's a nice guy. You know,
yeah, he is.
He's always welcomed me into the gym from when I used to be at Tunde's. Always getting me good sparring. Even now, for my camps, Martin's someone who will bring me fighters and get me prepared and help me for any fights, and vice versa. If he's got any fighters, I always help Martin as well. He's a good guy, so it was good. Like, but he was obviously on the other side of the bout this time. But we spoke. We obviously said we know it's just business, and he's got to do what he's got to do to help his fighters, and obviously I'm going to do what I got to do to get the win. But I was the one who got the nod that day, and yeah, it was no hard feelings.
Yeah, big up Martin.
So that was your first title, right? The Southern Area.
Yeah, traditional route. Started at grassroots. Well, that grassroots because that's sort of battle for a British 12 of those players, but it was good.
Going forward, I know you fought the Portuguese champion.
That was Wowza.
Yeah, I must have done something to his mum the way he was on you.
Oh my God, he was going to kill me.
Yeah.
I heard him charging up in the ring, Pavanito. He was screaming every time he was loading up shots. He wanted to kill me in there. But they never told me. I didn't even know who I was fighting. They just said I got a 6-rounder. And I found out who I was fighting at the weigh-in. I remember when they called his name, was like the reigning Portuguese champion, the #1 dude. I was like, huh? Wait, hold on. And I remember him taking his top off. He looked more ripped than me. I was like, who's the prospect again here?
No, he did. He was
in tremendous shape. I was surprised. He was in tremendous shape. And I remember obviously I just outboxed him for about the first 4 or 5. I remember the end of the 5th to the 6th.
He coming strong.
Yeah, the 1.5 was tough.
Yeah, I was trying to box and he wasn't respecting my jabs, my right hand. So I just had to literally bite down and we just had to tear up until the bell went.
But wasn't there like some speculation he might have been on something or?
Yeah, a few people said that. I have a few officials even at ringside and that said that. But when we did say about him being drug tested, they said because it wasn't a title fight, it's a voluntary thing to be drug tested. It's not compulsory. But we don't know. I don't want to slander him. But it was very.
I know. That's what I said. Speculation.
Yeah. But he went the distance with Martin Murray. So yeah, he's a good fighter.
Well, to be honest, after I beat him, he beat 4 champions on the spin for their titles, and then his only loss is he took on a world title eliminator against Martin Murray on a week's notice and come up short on points.
Yeah, so, yeah, it was a very.
And that was only my 9th fight.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
People forget that. Yeah. So then, after that, you plow forward.
You got to talk about. After that, would you say your first grudge match? Not after that, but your first significant fight.
Which one was that one?
The Jake Paul.
Jake Paul one.
Not Jake Paul.
No. Before that, you fought in Ireland.
Yeah.
You got was it first round?
Yeah, but I'm talking about like first significant fight, like as in not something about a grudge match.
No, not the Ireland fight, but you got offered.
Oh yeah, no.
It's against Buglioni.
Buglioni, I forgot about that. So I always try to put that at the back of my mind.
Yeah, because there's a strange.
It's just like, it's like something people talk about is pointless. It's like.
It's not pointless.
It's not pointless. It was a good experience, but to be honest, it's a fight that when I look back now, it's probably a dangerous fight to even take. A man who's the weight above, who's coming off good KO streaks, a high knockout percentage rate at light heavyweight. I'm technically super middleweight at the time. He just had a 12-week camp to fight Callum Johnson for the British and Commonwealth titles. He's pulled out, and you're now filling in on 5 days' notice at super middleweight, inexperienced, only 10-0. Probably it's quite a dangerous fight. Obviously, I showed good accounts myself, come up short on points, but didn't get hurt, never got dropped. For think that granite chin must have come in again. And yeah, that was the first experience at light heavyweight. And after that, I decided if I could do 12 rounds against a British champion on short notice without a training camp and have the stamina to do that, that must be my natural weight. Because there's certain times I was feeling drained at super middleweight when I was having a full camp. If I could fight without a full camp for a 12 rounder, my first 12 rounder, and do the 12 rounds and not get hurt or dropped, then that must be my natural weight, and that's when I moved up.
So what do you think now when you look back? Because I've seen some of these pictures on these throwback. When you look back at yourself when you was making super middle, what do you think to yourself? Because to me it looked like you.
I don't know how anyone.
He was eating like a rabbit.
I don't know how anyone can tell me I look like I was on my deathbed.
Like he was smoking hard food.
I look like a victim. I look vulnerable. I don't know how I was getting through. I must have tremendous heart because looking at that character, he looks like he should not have been getting through and beating these guys. I didn't look like I had any. I just looked malnourished, I think. And I think like it didn't look healthy. And I think since coming up now to light heavyweight, to look at myself now, to look at myself then, you can see the difference in completely.
Yeah. It's kind of like when Tony Bellew started off, and he was trying to kill him. Well,
himself at light heavyweight. He had a few fights though.
Yeah,
at light heavyweight.
He done well, but you could see it wasn't good for him. Yeah. So then you decided to stick at light heavyweight. Now you moved up. You started blasting guys out within three rounds.
Well, I had 3 guys, all with winning records. The first 3 fights straight at light heavyweight. O2 Arena, I think the first one. York Corn, I think O2 again, or vice versa. I can't remember. And blast them all out within 3 rounds. Someone second round, someone third, I think. We've all within 3 rounds. Blast everyone at light heavyweight. And then that's when Jake Ball then tweeted, said, just saw you get, actually the last one was the second round knockout. Just saw you getting a second round knockout. How about we get it on for my title? I was at ringside, just saw you get a good second round knockout. How about we get it on for my title, champ? And I saw that, I was in the changing room. I saw the tweet, and I saw he said he was at ringside, threw my tracksuit on, ran out, had a conversation with him, said we'll do it. Possibly September time, because he was sort of calling me out for July, but this was June, I just boxed.
Okay.
So I was like, why would I then box the title fight in 3 weeks when I've just boxed tonight?
Yeah.
So I said, obviously September will be the earliest, I'll probably box next, let's do it. But he was trying to press for July, triggered me. In the end, I was like, you know what, if we've got to do July, we've got to do July. Then he said, had an Achilles problem, so he couldn't box July anyway. Then September, I think we was actually looking towards like the AJ undercard box and that. He then wasn't going to be prepared in time. Then it was October, and this then started becoming a grudge match, as you said, my first big grudge match. And then fight week, he pulled out on fight week again to get a bad hand. So it got postponed again. It was meant to box December. Then he then said that his trainer couldn't make December, so he pulled off that show. It was meant to be a Dylan White show in December 22nd, I think it was. And then I had to then train through Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve to prepare for him for February the 2nd.
So why couldn't this trainer make it?
He then said that my trainer's got to box. I think he had Leon Williams, I think it was, boxing the same day on another show, I think on a Warren show. Okay. But I think at the time he wasn't actually training with him anyway. But yeah, that's what he said, and then I couldn't box December either.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
So obviously, as it being your first grudge match, the build up and run us down through the build up. It was a lot of back and forth and a lot. So and not animosity, but
it's quite entertaining.
Entertaining, yeah.
Yeah, it did start building a little bit of animosity at the same time. People got involved. Families and friends was getting involved on the social media.
Thanks, mate.
On the social media aspect of it, everyone was going back and forth. The interest was building. He was telling me he's going to be too big and strong for me. And yeah, it just spiraled out of control. Obviously, I put some stuff out there he didn't like because he pulled out of the fight. I started putting warning posters to say he's
No, is it warning or was it missing posters?
Missing posters. Saying, he's wanted. Yeah. Saying he's flight risk. If you see him handing back in, not dangerous. He didn't like that. At the press conference, I handed him bubble wrap because he kept pulling out for excuses to make sure he was safe. He didn't like any of that.
And what did he came out with something himself? What was it?
Because I started calling him Jake No Balls. He then took out balls and said, "I brought this and a present for you." And I said to him, "Obviously, you need to keep them because I said you lost your balls."
Yeah.
He didn't think that through again. And then so
Fight.
yeah, so then we obviously eventually got to the fight night. By then it had built up a lot more now through the back and forth. So we co-main event O2 Arena. Like this was our first show as well on televised in the Zone. While we were still on Sky Sports, it was actually global. It was in America as well, and also in the UK on Sky Sports. So it was a big event.
Yeah. And then you took him out in 3 rounds, dropped him in the first, dropped him in the second with a body shot, which was very surprising and impressive. Then you dropped him again in the third, and then finished him off with the ref had no alternative but to step in.
Yeah, he put the wrestlers in no fit position to continue.
And then you became the WBA Continental champion. So yeah.
Being a grudge match, did you think he was going to get him out of there that quick, or did you?
No, you can never anticipate when you're going to get them out. But I just remember the mentality I had that day, like, he'll have to kill me in here today. I realised my career was on the line, and I said to myself, this guy's going to have to literally kill me in this ring if he wants to get the win. And I realised I knew I was willing to go to whatever it took to get that win that day against him. He would have had to bring something very significant to have won that day. I knew he was a good operator. I've seen him taking people out time and time again. Former GB guy, he can box, he can fight. I said to myself, I'm gonna have to really bring my A game. I'm gonna have to bite down the gum shield at times and get stuck in. But I didn't need to, obviously. He felt my power early, and I think he was surprised by my power. He didn't believe I hit that hard, and I think he said that to me afterwards, that he was surprised how hard I hit. He knew I was a good boxer skill-wise, but he didn't know I hit like that. And it's funny because I was having a conversation with someone yesterday, and he was saying the thing is with me, when I'm hurting people and I'm boxing, it's because I'm looking effortless. I'm not pulling like extravagant faces. I'm not looking tense. So sometimes it doesn't look as menacing because I'm just doing it effortless, where some people will like throw shots and let's scream, shout, throw in their head, they throw in their bodies. Everyone's like, oh, he's looking dangerous. With me, I'll just throw the shot. Probably got 5 times the power the guy who's throwing his head's got. But because it's not thinking, people are watching it on the eye and not understanding the
it doesn't look so dynamic.
So once you're in there with me and then you're getting hit with these shots, like, I did not know he hits that hard, etc.
Yeah. So then that was the beginning of your grudge match season, because then came an old adversary in Mr. Andre Sterling.
Yes. And Sterling then called me out after that. He wanted to fight me for a final eliminator for a British title.
I remember that video outside Peacocks that went viral.
Yeah. You know, and I think that was the first time I think that the public then saw a bit of how my real character.
Yeah, you got drawn out.
I got drawn out. He knew he could draw me out. I was trying to obviously paint a more
polished picture.
Polished picture. At the time it was the AJ era.
Stay humble.
I was trying to stay humble, stay hungry. I lost myself. The real me come out, and the cameras was there, and it was.
Listen, who wrapped up that situation quick though?
Martin Barrow.
Come on, lads.
Outside the gym, everyone's cameras away. I didn't even realise it went viral. I left the gym and I went to my gym and I sparred. And when I came out of the sparring session, I was in the gym for a few hours. By the time I've come out and I've seen all the platforms, tagging me, all the comments, etc., I was like, oh my gosh, this has gone off the chain.
Yeah.
And it's mad because when you're in that moment, you're not realising all these cameras, so you're not realising what's going to happen. Yeah. So it's actually, it's quite mad.
Yeah, it was mad. And then we had it cracking, you know. After that went viral, the show sold out that day. Yeah. Like, I think the tickets was on sale for about 5-6 weeks. After that argument, that day, the show sold out. Then when I finally got to the fight, I remember going to York Hall, I saw the queue down the street where people trying to find touters or anyone who wanted to sell their tickets. Yeah. Boxers was lining up outside to see if they could get in. All from that.
Well, remember, also, off of the back of that build-up, Pound Sterling offered to bet me some money, which I happily took.
Ah!
So you know.
Yeah, it had to happen. It was real endsy grudge match. Like when you got two guys from the ends, and everyone knows each other.
South
Friends of
London, South
friends.
East London
Well,
to be
Yeah.
exact.
that's his little cousin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Friends of friends. Like you got like two friends who might be supporting one man each. Like it's all so close and so locked in. Like literally, I had people ring me for tickets saying, "Well, my other friends are chill with are going, but they're supporting him. So I want to buy tickets from you, so I don't have to sit near them, so I can support you and be that team." It was serious.
So how was that fight though? Because me and Lex was in attendance, and it's kind of like how he's feeling right now. It was like a sauna in there. Remember? I was just dripping. It was like a Turkish bath. So how you fight it? Like I'm standing there pouring like a rotisserie chicken. So how was you able to fighting?
Because the temperature. Listen, that fight, you had people hanging off the flipping, at the top,
off the balcony,
at
and
the
it was
balcony, and I've never seen
there was illegal numbers in there.
No, I think it was 500 over capacity. Right?
I've never.
There was more people standing in seats even, and I remember it was so hot, and the fact he was hugging me and holding me throughout the fight was not helping the situation.
Yeah, it was MMA-ish.
At that time, this is my 5th fight now at light heavyweight, and I've knocked everyone out at this point within 3 rounds. This is the first time. At this point, I'm overconfident. I'm saying this ain't going past 3, so I'm just planning to knock this guy out. So 5, 6, 5th, I think 5th or 6th, I've dropped him, and then I said, this is it now. I'm lighting him up, and he showed tremendous heart that day. He said, "Listen, I ain't going out like this."
Yeah, his eyes was popping out his head, but his heart is like
he had heart. I rate him.
got
I
heart.
see him nowadays, and it's always love. We had a good scrap. We put it on. The entertainment, it was good, man. That was my second grudge match, as he called it, the Battle of Blue.
Well, you must have felt mad dehydrated in the back.
I was dehydrated after the fight. I was so dehydrated afterwards. I was like, I remember we went out for food afterwards, and I remember like saying, "Why does this food just taste so salty?" I was like, "Why do they put so much salt in everything?" And everyone's looking at me like I'm mad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "It's not salty." And everyone's like, "You're right." I'm
blessed.
Yeah. I had 4 fresh squeezed lemon juices, 3 apple juices, and 3 waters, and my mouth was just dry. I was like, I don't know what's going on here. But it's obviously I was dehydrated. I worked out afterwards. It was just too hot in there. It was like a sauna.
I remember that day. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. So then you pushed on, and then.
Well, after that fight, let's talk about the Shugden fight.
Yeah.
You went on to get a draw with Shugden. It was an 8-round, I believe. And everyone that was in the house, from the ants on the wall to the to your fellow spider mates, like they were saying, you won the fight. Obviously, it's a draw. How did that make you feel?
What was frustrating at the time, I remember Shugden would come up to me at the end, him and his dad, they apologised. They said, "Look, we felt obviously lost the fight. We felt like you'd done enough. But we're happy to give you the rematch. We're happy to run it back."
Happy to give you the rematch.
So I'm like, I'm already frustrated. I'm annoyed. You're sitting in your change room. You're thinking, what's the point? We box, and these sort of things happen. It's just like there's no guarantee you're going to get fair results after the hard camps. And I'm a bit disheartened, if I'm honest. And then I just carried on pushing on. I obviously didn't lose my mandatory. I was mandatory for the British. And at the time, there was a lot of messing about going on for that with Shakan.
Who was the champion at the time? Because it got
vacant. Buatsi was the British champion.
then he vacated it, right?
I was his mandatory. He vacated it. Then I was supposed to fight. I was waiting for an opponent. The light heavyweight tournament came on at that time.
Was it the golden? What's it called?
Golden tournament.
Golden contract.
All the guys who was
it the golden contract?
Yeah. No, golden tournament.
Yeah, because contract was the other people.
Yeah.
So what was this
golden tournament?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the contract
all the people who was like
it was tied up in that tournament.
Tied up in the tournament. So he was waiting for an opponent. And eventually, Shakan Peters was the English champion. So they then mandated him to be mandatory to fight for the British.
Yeah.
And then he couldn't fight December. So eventually we was like looking to have a title fight anyway. They told me Shugden wasn't going to be credible enough for a British title fight. He wasn't credible enough for me to fight for even a 10-rounder with my WBA. He wasn't even credible for a 10-rounder. They pulled it on the week when we was meant to be defending my WBA Continental, made it an 8-rounder. And then after that, we was waiting to fight Shikan. Obviously COVID hit. I got COVID. COVID then actually hit as well. So the lockdown happened. And then he got to fight in the summer. And somehow they went, I don't know how they did it, but Shugden then got to fight for the British against Shikan.
Yeah.
I don't know how, when he wasn't credible enough for a 10-rounder with me, now he's credible enough for a 12-rounder for the British. So obviously when he done that, Shikan obviously beat him, which now put the odds towards Shikan for my fight. And then we was scheduled to box November. Then he had then pulled out November now. And then
just sorry, just for the fans' sake. Now we're talking about, I would say your second grudge match, in my opinion.
Third.
We
had Jake Bull, Sterling.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Bull.
I forgot. You know that Sterling fight? It's because I keep forgetting about that. Sorry, third grudge match. I apologize.
Sterling. And then Shikan now.
Yeah, so I like this one. This is very entertaining, this one.
Yeah, it was very entertaining. You know, Shaq had as good a banter as I had at the time.
Yeah.
We was going back and forth, you know.
Yeah, what I will say, the first back and forth you lot had, I'd say I gave it to Shakan with the schoolyard custom matches. Then on the rematch, you got him.
Yeah.
You annihilated him. So it was proper like school playground days. If you ain't ready for custom matches.
Yeah, you know.
But yeah.
And then we had one more before the fight. I think I won that.
Yeah, so you end up winning. Yeah, you end up winning 2-1. Yeah. So he got off to a good start, and but yeah, no, you clawed it and got him 2-1 on the and especially on the weigh-in as well.
Then the build up on the actual weigh-in and that. Then I made it 3-1 with the gloves and the weigh-in. That was all fun and games though, and then we had the real fight on his area, on his show, in his backyard, on his promotional company.
And he was billed as the,
he was the champion.
Poster boy for Channel 5. Your image, he wasn't even on the.
They didn't put me on the poster. They didn't put me on the TV poster. And then I remember even the week before, I think I was watching something on BT Sport, and they put top 5 light heavyweights at the time. Shikan was question mark, is this guy the best light heavyweight in Britain? And I remember being in bed watching that, and I said, okay, so they're saying this guy is 14-0, won the English, won the Ultimate Boxing, won the British title. When I beat this guy, would I get the credit? Because I realised they dismiss me every time. When Jake was buzzing, when this guy's buzzing, when that Sterling being 10-0, just beat Ricky Summers, just beat the English champion, I beat him. Higgins, just beat Chalarenda, I beat him. Jake Bull coming off good wins, I just beat him. I wondered this time would they give me the credit? And I went out there, dropped him in the 4th round, knocked him out in the 9th round, and then people dismissed how good he was. Again, he wasn't as good as we thought he was. It wasn't, yet again, Craig is better than we thought.
So how did that make you feel once again when they've touted him as potentially the best in Britain, then you deal with him, then all of a sudden he's not what they...
It's frustrating. And I said to myself, that's when I said to myself, I didn't like domestic clashes anymore, because every time I beat someone domestically, they dismiss him. And that's why we asked for the Dimitri Bivol fight. We just said, look, unless I can get the super world champion to show how good I am, I'll never get credit. And that's why I went straight from British, give me the main man. Give me Dimitri Bivol.
But talking about that build-up, just the last bit, tell the people about some of the things you went through during the build-up with accommodation, your food. Being up here, where was it?
Travel.
Redditch. In the Holiday Inn Express. There was no fridge. I had to bring my own fridge, my own cooking pot. I had to bring my own shopping, my own waters, because even on the menu, they was offering pizza and chips, burger and chips on fight week. I'm trying to make weight. Yeah, there was no accommodation food-wise. It was just terrible. they dropped me some weird breakfast thing in the morning from my door like it was in jail.
You know, man's in the cells.
Yeah, through some brown paper bag like I was doing time.
Yeah.
I opened it, I looked at it, I left it there. I come back and I noticed the apple juice
was really open.
bottle they threw by the door had all leaked out by the time I got back. I'm saying, how could that have leaked out? It's open. Should be sealed.
Sealed, yeah.
So I didn't touch it anyway. But yeah, it wasn't really the best accommodated show I've ever been on. Facilities.
No.
Facilities. It was just like, but maybe it's because I was used to the difference with matchroom accommodations. Whether you're an away fighter or the home fighter, you all get treated equally, nicely. Your food, your preparations, like no one's trying to do anything.
Level playing field.
Yeah, no one's trying to do anything to offset the other side. It's just.
So the fight, let's talk about the fight. I think you dropped him in the 4th.
Yeah.
How do you rate Shaq as a fighter? I think he's a good fighter.
I rate Shaq. Shaq's a very good fighter.
It was like a thinking fight, and you both were trying to get each other out of there. But Shaq being Shaq, you thought you think he was gonna come back, or did you think, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna get him out of there later on? Because obviously when you got dropped in the 4th, people were like, yeah, get him out of there. But he wasn't cooked, was he?
Ready.
Yeah.
He looked that 4th round. I landed some good shots on him, some big shots on him.
Big uppercut.
Big uppercut, left hook, 1-2, right, left, right. I landed some good combinations on him, and he's still there. It's not like he starts holding on and falling over. So I knew at that point he's not ready to go yet. To be honest, I didn't plan to take him out in them rounds earlier. I did actually plan for the later rounds to take him out. So I knew he wasn't ready. So we took my time, boxed, and then I was actually going to go the next round to take him out in the 10th, and then Peter actually said to me, no, I'll take him out this round. I said, this round? He said, he's ready this round. And I said, okay. And then that was the 9th round. I stepped on him, got him out.
Yeah.
He became the British champion. Was there any...
3rd strap.
Was there... Yeah. So was there any talks of you defending it potentially, or was there any possible opponents?
Not at the time. There wasn't any potential opponents. So we pushed on to fight for the world title at the time. But there was talks to fight Jose Burton after the tournament. And they agreed to fight. We offered good money, etc. He was ready to go. And a few days later, they pulled out of it and said, no, we'll wait and we'll go to purse bids and go the long way. It's not worth it. A quick tick over fight, but
he said the right as a tick over
back to world level. Well, that's how we looked at it. No disrespect, but that's how we kind of put ourselves in the position. Like,
so you're gonna get Jose out of retirement.
he's a big talker. What was his line? He said, "Mark my words, tomorrow he's gonna vacate the British."
Yeah. By Monday, Craig Richards is going to vacate the British title, and that's the reason I didn't vacate it. I had the world title planned, but you can't start telling me what I'm not going to do and I ain't going to do.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't vacate.
Yeah. So then we'll move on to the big world title fight. Dimitri Bivol during a lockdown as well. Manchester. How did that come about? And talk us through.
So at this point, we spoke to Eddie afterwards. He was like, what do you want next? What are you lot looking at? And we texted him, we want to meet you, Bivol. And he texted back saying, "Core blimey." And he went quiet for a couple of days and he came back and he said, look, I've actually got a meeting with Dimitri Bivol next week. You're actually serious? I could present it to him. And we said, yeah, we're serious. And he came back and he said, yeah, there's interest. Do you lot want to pursue that route? And we said, yeah. So we went into negotiations back and forth. And then, the fight then eventually got made. And I was looking forward to it. And I saw everyone that then said, oh, what is he doing? He's going to get knocked out in 3 or 4 rounds. This is a dangerous man.
Not. He's go on, I'll let you finish. Go on.
And then we went in there. I was feeling confident. I watched him. I know he's a tremendous fighter. He had like 285 fights. Only lost a handful or something. Like
amateurs.
15 in amateurs, 13 medals in different championships, gold medals. We knew he was a good operator, But I believed in myself at the time, and I thought I've got to get credit one way or another. And we know he boxed the other world champions, it's like Joe Smith Jr., Pascal, and these guys, and he beat them nearly every round.
Sullivan Barrera.
Sullivan Barrera knocked him
Yeah,
out in
Joe
the 12.
Smith.
Joe Smith, I think he beat him every round, bar 2 rounds or something. Pascal, same thing.
Did he fight Costello? No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dropped Castillo in the 6th. So we knew he's operating at a good level and beating good operators. And I wanted to show that I'm better than all these guys, and I believe that I'm, if not the best in the world, and I want to step up. And of course, we were scoring. Maybe we were scoring the rounds a bit wrong in our corner. And we got to the 9th. Someone had said at ringside, "Look, I'll be honest, it's close. You need to win at least two of the last 3." And I thought, what? I thought I was winning this. I said, all right. So I stepped it up, and obviously I just won all 3. And I remember he was actually trying to hold on in the 12th round at times and see it out. And yeah, I was still half a round on 1 round short on a couple of the judges' scorecards to not become the Super World Champion. And it was obviously disappointing because I didn't even go through the gears.
Yeah, that's sure. And also, notably, Bivol beat Isaac Chilemba, like 12-0. So they've done a much better job than one of your big detractors in Tony Bellew.
Yeah.
But then, so then you come back, you fight the Polish guy
Mateo. Yeah, that guy was solid.
Solid, 24 fights, so he lost 2 on split decision, which was arguable fights. So
a lot of people in the background know about that guy. Obviously, to the casuals, not even casuals really know about him. Hardcore boxing fans know what I mean, but I'm talking about that background. People in the background of boxing know what that guy's capable of.
And you see his fights, even when he boxed that guy 15-0, 12 KOs, he never took a backward step, walked through him the whole fight. And I think they even got a draw in one of their fights.
Yeah, the first one.
The first one they got a draw, and the second one was split decision, could have went either way. So we knew that he was tough, solid competitor. And this is what I say, like, with boxing sometimes, it's like, the people who speak on boxing, it seems like they really don't know boxing as well, that well. And it's like a thing that we kind of are lacking in this era. Like when you watch old school boxing and you're hearing the Jim Watts and the seasoned guys, even like Steve Bunce and guys like these guys know boxing. So when you're using the right tactics on the back foot, boxing them, slowing them down, breaking them down over the rounds, you're breaking them down over the rounds, and you get the stoppage early, 5th or 6th round. People say that's a boxing masterclass. You took 0 damage, you've boxed them, and you've got the stoppage. That's an ideal situation. They'll still turn around, it needs to be more spiteful. What do you want to do? Put my chin in the air and just start windmilling in the middle of the ring? It's just that you just can't get any credit for boxing, how you're supposed to box them. The guy's never even been hurt or thinking, I stopped the guy to win the WBA international title.
Yeah. And then, after that, then there was a lot of rumours about you potentially fighting Joshua Buatsi, and then it finally came off. So talk us through that build-up, how that come about.
Well, originally we were looking at fighting Dominic Bozell for the IBO world title. He was number 1 in the WBA at the time, would have gave me a good rankings back to run with Bivol. And obviously I got the Buatsi one presented to me, which was going to be a big grudge match. I'm more interested in profiling wise, obviously financially better.
Was you also offered the European with Matthew Bowderly?
Well, there was another one we spoke about as well. We wanted to have the Matthew Bowderly fight for the European, the IBO for the WBA, IBO world title against Dominic Bozell. And then obviously the Buatsi fight then was presented to me. They obviously wanted that fight more than the other fights. You know me, don't duck or dodge nobody. So I said, okay, cool. So we got into it. Him being the favourite, the man of Britain. I thought it was a great fight. And me and him, we gave it everything in that fight. Big build-up, headline the O2 Arena. We both represented great. A back and forth action-packed fight. Winning rounds each and giving everything and putting a old school throwback fight on for the fans.
Yeah, I'll say that was probably your 4th grudge match. Even though
I don't think it was.
Nah, I would
I
I would say it was because mate, what did you guys watch the gloves are off, or was I watching something else?
Yeah.
Was I watching something else? No matter what happened afterwards, I'm talking about.
I feel like the difference with the grudge with the three, we disliked each other in the build-up.
Yeah.
With me and Buatsi, it was more business. We was like, you're in my way and I'm in your way. I need to push on and I need to push on.
Yeah, I hear all that, but
it wasn't so much the grudges in personal.
yeah, no, I went.
It was more business.
I hear that, but obviously it got a bit grudge-like in the build-up.
Yeah, because what did he sort of started it? What did he say? Something or spiders?
Yeah, when he put his
spiders.
announcement, he put extermination.
No insects.
No insects. And then obviously I said liquidation.
Yeah.
And he then said extermination or something. So it just got a bit more spicy at that point. Right there.
Obviously, the fight came along. I was there. It was a very good fight. Immaculate, crazy, back and forth, action packed. Have you watched it back? I'm guessing you have. Yeah. How did you see it at the time and now that you've watched it back?
Similar. I knew like in the rounds I may have been working a little bit more, but he was doing a more eye-catching 10-second, 15-second bursts of the rounds, and it was one of them fights what you liked. You know, did you like the guy who's boxing, racking his points up, or did you like the guy who's thrown a ferocious 10-second flurry? What you like? Oh, that looks dangerous kind of fights. And I felt at the time like we was coming back and forth rounds. I felt like I felt it was a close fight, but I felt like I'd done enough. But it was one of them fights you couldn't really argue. It was like action packed. It was a great fight.
Yeah, it's like as you said. I'd say for the majority of the round, he was winning, but then he would have like a 10 or 15-second salvo, excuse the pun, and try and catch some eye-catching things towards the judges, especially as you know the old trick. As you've watched boxing for many years, and we all have, where people try to steal the end of the round because that's the last thing that's going to be remembered on the judges' notes in their mind before they put the number down with 10-9 or whatever.
Yeah.
So while she was in there, was you ever hurt in there? Because the shots look very.
No, I wasn't hurt any time. He's a good fighter though. He can punch, he's ferocious, he can box. I wasn't hurt any time in the fight. We had some good tear up, but I wasn't hurt any moment.
Would you say he was hurt at any time? I believe he was. I believe he was hurt. I think it was at the 8th. It was at 8th. I can't remember.
Yeah. I think because that was quite noticeable. That I think you saw he was hurt in the 8th.
And
the uppercut.
Yeah, it was the
the pullback right.
The right uppercut, left hook.
Yeah.
And then but he done very well to hold it together.
To mask it, yeah.
And one thing about him, when I thought I had him, he had heart. He said, "You know what? You're gonna have me. I'm going out swinging."
Yeah.
And he just started. He dug his toes into the canvas and started swinging back. And
he punched his gum shield out.
Yeah.
Another round.
Yeah.
And he just went into mad.
Yeah, that was a good form of defense.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have the gum shield. If Craig cracked him,
he's gone.
Yeah.
He's got a dental bill. So that was a mad fight. So also talk people through, because even though the fight was one, it's up there for fight of the year, yours and Wood Conlon. One of the other big notable factors was, the cultures being represented. He came out to Black. What's the name? The artist.
Ghanaian artist. I forgot his name now.
Black Papa or something like that. And then how did it come about where you decided to come out to Capleton, slew them?
Obviously, I'm British background, Jamaican, and I've noticed like a lot of people like to come out sometimes to their heritage music. We ain't seen that really since like Lennox Lewis days. He used to come out to crazy ballads, Bob Marley and things, and I just thought, you know what, it'd be nice to come out to something noticeable. I feel it was suited for the occasion, knowing the crowds as well. and there's a lot of options I went through, and I realized like guys like Capleton, Budju, these sort of guys are good representations, and they're good for like a show. Because one thing coming out to a song you might listen to in your kitchen cooking on a Sunday, to another one was suitable for a crowd and a show and for entertainment. And I thought like Slew Them was just, what should I say, Who Them is fitting for the occasion.
No, that was a very big entrance. Everybody loved it, but they loved both entrances, and it was good.
Yeah, both entries got
Great reception.
a great reception from all of the crowd. To be fair, it was a good spectacle, man, and I enjoyed myself thoroughly, man. I hope you guys can run it back someday.
Yeah, I believe that we'll cross paths probably again at some point. I believe that we're both destined to get to a good level in boxing. Possibly both will hit world title level. And I believe if I've got a title, he's got a title, I think it will be very interesting to see that run back. And I think the fans and supporters and people boxing would like to be in attendance or watch that fight again.
Yeah, potential stadium fight.
Yeah,
Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
You're both from that neck of the woods.
Crystal Palace, Selhurst Park. Listen to Selhurst Park, get that stadium ready.
And they're getting some planning permissions to
upgrade the capacity.
Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
it's about
time for you lot to just wait a little bit. Get more tickets.
This is what I'm talking about.
It's about time.
Yeah, so what's next? Everyone would love to know.
Yeah, we're looking for a big fight. Hopefully, like towards maybe October times, end of October, early November.
Yeah.
Want a big fight. We're just going through a couple of possible names in negotiations now. And just trying to finalize something. You know, we want to get straight back in there, get straight in the mix, and we still got destined for great things, and we want to unify this light heavyweight division someday, one way or another, and we're going to make it happen. So I'm just training very hard. Changed my training, tweaked a few things, and to make sure that next time we get the job done.
Obviously, you're say you're one of the experienced light heavyweights in the game, and if you see anyone new light heavyweights coming through, you want to give a mention to or anything, not to fight them or anything, but anyone you see and you think, yeah, I like how he's moving, I like what he's doing, stuff like that.
To be honest, not really. I haven't really watched no one really like that in the light heavyweight division at the minute. There's great from the bottom to the top of light heavyweights in Britain, and not just in Britain, also around the globe. So there'll be so much names to mention, but there's a lot of good talents in our division. You know, if I wasn't in the division, I would still tune in just as a fan to watch a lot of the guys. So yes, exciting times, and I know because of the division so hot that I need to be making sure I'm doing the extra work.
Yeah. Did you manage to catch the new light heavyweight Ben
Whitaker
in action last night?
I didn't. It was obviously my cousin's birthday. I was out for a meal, so I didn't get to catch up on the Sky Show. Then I did see the main event played last night, so I was able to catch that. It was a good fight, but I'm still due to catch up for the whole show at some point.
Yeah, Isaac Chamberlain versus
Chris Billiam-Smith, the gentleman.
Yeah, I like Chris. He's a good guy. Obviously, I know both of them, but Chris has helped me out with a lot of rounds, so credit to him. So congratulations to him. You know, when a man helps you out in the rounds, and I always help Chris, and I always got time for him and Shane. So yeah, big up to Shane and congratulations to Chris.
Yeah, man, big. So, is there anything you'd like to let the supporters or fans know something about you that they might not necessarily know, something interesting, which you'd think they might not know, but let them know? Because you're quite a mysterious man to a lot of people through social media.
I am. And do you know what's the funniest thing? I shot a magazine for Men's Health like before the Buatsi fight, and the guy came down and he started laughing halfway through the shoot, and I said to him, "What's funny?" And he said to me, to be honest, my boss said to me that he was going to be quite shy. He's seen you on social media. Yeah. And he said, "No, meet you in person, you're completely the opposite. Yeah. You're like a very confident guy and charismatic guy." And he said, "I didn't think you'd be like that based on the report I got." And I said, "Yeah, because if you watch me on my social media, I'm not really a social media guy. I grew up in the era of not social media. I didn't even have MSN unless I was going to my dad's house. So Like, that's never been me.
Age, sex, location.
Yeah, I literally lived in real life, and the way we used to live, obviously back in the day, everything was all low private life and people low key cutting through. So me trying to adapt to this new era is different for me. Although I'm supposed to be like a public figure and a professional boxer, I went to show everything. It's just getting old habits die hard to stay low key and stay private. So all I say is just don't take my social media as me.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, Craig is the biggest wind up ever. If you're going to a petrol station, he's shadow boxing to the man in the kiosk while he's topping up. It's like if you're ordering food, we had some meatballs. He's just winding up the staff, customers. Yeah, Lex will tell you he's been around the world with Craig.
I am a wind up. That is one thing. I am a wind up. Yeah, but do you know what it is? I'm naturally one of the people. I'm naturally who I am in real life. So like, I know people like some people are dead characters in real life, and on social media, I've got characters.
Start acting.
Yeah, so acting, the actors. But for me, I'm not gonna start setting up my phone. And press record and start trying to 15 seconds to pretend to be something. So if you know me, you know me. And if you don't, sorry.
I hear that. So we move in to the penultimate round, a series of questions. You get to choice. So here we go.
Let's go, champ.
The neutral corner. Red corner or blue corner?
I like the red corner.
Okay. Left hook or straight right?
Both. I care more. Both.
You can only pick one.
Oh, shit. Let's go left hook.
Everlast or Fly?
Everlast.
Cleto Rays or Grants?
I've used Grants. I've never used Rares for boxing. So I say clear Rares. Grants out my hand.
Okay. Yeah, I know you don't like them actually. You've got funny shaped hands. Rival or winning?
Winning.
For boots now. Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
Everlast or Lonsdale?
For boots.
Yeah.
Everlast.
Yeah.
Everlast.
Yeah,
Everlast. All day long.
Do you know what man's sponsorships are you doing?
Nah, Everlast was not bad. No, I'm sponsored by Everlast. Of course.
Yeah, that's
For venues, York Hall or O2 Arena?
O2 Arena. All day long.
Wembley Arena or Copper Box?
Wembley Arena.
See the two posters?
Oh,
yeah. So Ali or Tyson?
Ooh, that's a difficult one. I'll say Ali. I'll say Ali.
This is the guy.
Although,
that's the guy.
Listen, Tyson. He was an era I grew up in and watched the late night box office nights. But Ali, we're looking at his history of what he represented, what he done, the changes he made in boxing, what he went through, the adversity, he stood for something. You have to give it to him.
Yeah, you have. He is a
Jack Johnson or Joe Lewis?
It has to be Jack Johnson.
Yeah.
Pioneer.
For the Sugar Men now. Ray Robinson or Ray Leonard?
Leonard for me. Robinson was probably better, maybe like I don't know, like he was like bigger in history. I don't know, but Leonard for me, I kind of watched like when I watched the old guys. He was someone I studied like early when I was amateur, like his hand speed, etc., and his flamboyancy. Although I don't watch nothing like him for myself, but he's someone I watched and I admired.
What about you? Who would you say?
I like Leonard as well.
Yeah, I like
the floating.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, when I turn on my TV, I never really got around to watching mine. I'm really watching mine.
You know that man just the jab and the float.
The shuffle. A million shots in like 3 seconds.
Yeah, it's mad, bro.
He's a bad man, isn't he?
He's a mad man.
Yeah, his footwork is crazy as well.
And there's one you got to watch at the end of the Olympic thing. He throws a mad flurry on man's head. Like, all right, listen, I got to send it to you.
Speedball in his head.
Yeah, speedball in his head. It's mad.
For announcers, Jimmy Lennon Jr. or Michael Buffer?
You know, I've always been a Buffer guy, but Jimmy Lennon Jr. is the guy, you know?
Yeah, it's a bit...
I've
that
listened to some big nights of him, but growing up, Buffer was always my guy.
Yeah.
But now looking back, I realised I've had some big nights with
Jimmy.
Yeah, because I think Jimmy was the main guy
For
growing
Floyd.
up. No, when I used to watch Prince Nassim.
Nassim,
he
yeah,
was
for real.
doing him.
Yeah, he was
That's what I'm
doing him.
saying.
I think people, yeah.
That's what I said.
You know what it is?
Back
It's
in
the more. It's
history,
more. Yeah.
Naturally, I'd always say Buff was
It's
the
'cause-
main guy. But when I look back in history and bare big fights, I realised my man was doing
He was doing them,
bare
Yeah,
big
but
fights,
obviously, you know,
know?
it's because people kind of remember Leicester get ready to
Because
rumble.
the computer game
Computer,
as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
like wrestling as
Afro
well.
Thunder and them, man. And
Wow,
wrestling
that
as
is
well.
actually getting harder to decide as I get older. But I'm going Buffer to take a picture of him.
I've got a picture of Buffer.
Did you?
Yeah. At Frank, what it was at the Chisora David Hay weigh-in when they put the cage in front of him. I put him outside.
I asked this guy to take the photo for me and didn't realise who it was. And then obviously Peter said you can't tell him to take the photo. And I was like, why? And he's like, that's Colin Farrell. And I was like, who's that? And he's like, actor. I had to Google. I thought, shame.
Okay.
Well,
Mad. So referees, Mills Lane or Steve Willis?
Steve Willis.
Okay, so for dream up and coming fights, realistic fights. So Errol Spence, Terence Crawford.
the winner.
Crawford, yeah. Oh yeah, we've been there.
Live on camera, everyone.
Guys, me and him, we've decided we're gonna have a side wage because he keeps going for this Crawford guy, man.
It's like 50-50 though.
So,
It is 50-50, but I'm going with the yard, man.
yeah, no stoppage.
Clarissa Shields or Savannah Marshall?
Ooh.
I can't say.
David Benavides versus Charlo. That one's being touted next, by the way. I saw it yesterday.
Yeah, look, I'm not saying anything. It's you.
I hope Charlo could do it.
My boy Benavides gonna mash him up. Watch.
I don't know. If he wants that one, I'm joking.
Oh, for your division, you don't have to answer if you don't. But there's a big British title fight coming up. Dan Aziz versus Shakan Pitters. Do you have anybody?
Good 50-50 fight.
Yeah.
No, that's what I said. But yeah, I don't know. I just hope Shakan can keep Aziz off him. But you've been in there, Shakan. What's the source saying?
And you've sparred
Aziz.
Yeah, it's a good fight. Different styles. Whoever can implicate their style, really.
Yeah.
We'll break that down closer to the fight. Anyway.
Yeah.
So for cars, BMW or Mercedes?
Merc,
yeah.
To be honest, I'm liking these new BMs that come out. I did change the Mercedes, but recently some new BMs that come out.
BM all day long.
Which model?
There's a new 6, I think, new 4.
Mm.
Yeah, they're looking crazy. I was always a BM man. I bought Merc this time to try something new, but
the X4s look serious.
The X4, that's the one. The X4, that's the one. I might cut one next week. Can you put a down payment for me? So make that chance too. Hey, if you want to sponsor me, BM, I'll represent.
Audi or Lexus?
Audi.
Oh, tell the people. Oh, this would be interesting. Let the people know what your first car was.
Clio.
Yeah.
I ran a Clio.
There's the blue one, isn't it? Or was it red?
Black.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
It's not about how you start, people. It's about how you finish.
Exactly. So stay humble. Stay
ran
hungry.
Clio. And my first job, I had a paper round when I was young, you know.
Oh, and also you've got to let people know where you used to work as well.
One of my first jobs, I worked at Palace Stadium.
Crystal Palace, Selhurst Park, as a steward.
Sure. Working on the gate.
There you go. Rolls Royce or Bentley?
Ooh, Bentley.
Now for the ladies.
To be honest, Rolls Royce maybe. Don't know, depends which one.
For the ladies, dark skin or light skin?
Girls.
Yeah.
Mate, I
depends on the woman.
I didn't even see them questions.
Yeah, you read these.
I didn't even see them questions.
Depends on the woman. You get beautiful dark and you get beautiful light skin women.
Slimline or curvy thick?
All women are beautiful.
So you say slim,
Like slimline, the slim.
straight, no body.
No body.
Oh.
Like, gym fit slim, or the fit curvy. Like,
I don't really like too big, so if it's slimmer curvy, I prefer them like too
makes
big
sense because
curvy.
you're an athlete, so you like the athletic.
Yeah,
kinda...
I don't want her to be too much heavier than me.
Yeah, fair enough.
But
music.
sorry, disclaimer: there's no problem with being heavy.
No, I
Disclaimer,
like
yeah.
heavy. Like for a friend, I always hook him up. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'd never do that. I just winded him up.
I like chunky chips.
He loves a chunky chip. There's nothing wrong with I personally, I'm just like, because I'm a gymmer, I prefer a girl to train a little bit.
It makes sense. So for music, garage or house?
If I had to pick one, it'd be garage.
Yeah, you're not house, man. When them rivers were coming on the other day,
You're not
you
an MD man. You got a mad thing to R&B or slow jams.
Well, depends on the mood. I do like an R&B. There's classics of both, but I'll say R&B.
Dancehall or Afro beats?
Dancehall.
Reggae or revival?
Hard to say reggae though.
Jollof rice or rice and peas?
Rice and peas all day long.
Beef patty or saltfish patty?
Saltfish.
Peppered steak or oxtail?
Oxtail. Ooh, they're both good though.
True flavors or refills?
True flavor.
Morley's or Boss chicken?
Ooh.
Awesome.
I like them both.
Which one's Boss chicken?
Morley's was in Sydenham.
Oh.
Nowadays I would have. I don't eat none. But when I was younger,
I saw you at the chicken shop.
Yes, you never.
He was getting a two-piece. He was getting a two-piece.
Chicken twister.
He was getting a two-piece and a double M-burger. He was getting a double M-burger. I saw him.
No way. You sound like you know the menu very well.
Yeah, I do. It was a triple M. The Rebo Big Mac, you know it.
So for holidays, Dubai or Tulum?
Tulum.
Stockholm or Ibiza?
Stockholm.
Now, New York, LA or Vegas?
New York or Vegas, I'd say.
No point going through the promotions. Clarendon or Kingston?
Family in Clarendon. Kingston stuff.
No, Dan, I've got to pull you up. What do you know about Clarendon and Kingston except from the internet?
He's been waiting for this. My brother sold me out.
He didn't sell you out. He just told the truth.
I've been Jamaica Road.
I would like to disclaimer.
Yeah.
I was there for a few months as a young kid.
Oh, okay.
And I've been back.
Yeah, no, you're cool. No one's questioning you. You're right.
I'm a true yard.
We're talking about young Dr. Uma here.
Ninja Man or Super Cat?
Ninja Man.
Sizzler or Capleton?
Capleton.
Movado or Vibes Cartel?
Movado.
John Holt or Beres Hammond?
Beres.
Dennis Brown or Garnet Silk?
Dennis Brown.
Lady Saw or Spice?
Spice.
This is for both of you. Brit Jam or Dream Weekend?
Dream Weekend.
What the hell?
Don't worry then. So for scenery, do you prefer city life or countryside?
In day to day.
Yeah, like just
to live.
Life. Yeah, to live. Yeah.
I'm now like more the country life.
Yeah, the city, bro.
I've always lived in the city, in the busy, hectic. I've been involved with all the hectic madness growing up. So like for me, for mental peace, I like the country life now.
Yeah. And last one, I don't know, I missed it. Caribbean Bites or Coming Up?
Caribbean Bites. No. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And that is the end of the penultimate round. So, thank you, man, for coming on.
No problem. Long overdue.
No.
Yeah, it's been long awaited. But we've got the Spider-Man on.
No, wait, not Spider-Man, just Spider.
Yeah, I said it's started a new trend.
sorry, guys. Got Spider, Craig, Richards, lovely to have you on, man. And everyone is looking forward to what's next coming for you. And obviously, we're always rooting for you.
I just always want to say thanks to everyone who supports me. Thanks, like all of you guys. You guys, these channels, all the people from the area, everyone behind me, not from the area, who don't know me and just support me and just, you know, like my journey, been on the journey with me. I just got to thank everyone for it because, yeah, without you guys, the journey wouldn't be happening. So I just got to thank and appreciate everyone who supports me off their own free will. And yeah, I've got to do this and win everything for you guys.
Yeah, man. And we'll definitely have you back on in the future. But yes, that's it for another episode of the Neutral Corner, presented to you by Fight Fan TV Live.
And big up on my sponsors as well and my team. Jeez.
Give the
You
names.
know, Lewis Access, you know, you've been here for a minute, doing well. Me Art, Sean Printtown, Everlast, Sports Direct. Oh, now you make me feel like I'm going to forget someone when...
You've cost him a sponsorship now, look at you.
Oh, Elite Fleet.
There
Of course,
you go.
Elite Fleet.
Yeah.
He's a guy, hell of a guy. Looks after me very well. And I thank all my whole team, my strength coach, my physio. Obviously, biggest shout out to obviously Peter Sims, who really brought me on the journey. And obviously Tony, he's obviously there behind, obviously grafting with us as well and points us in the right direction as well. So I just thank everyone who's behind us.
Yeah, and there you have it, guys. And also, shout out to the show sponsor for today, Ragatonic, Real Yard Things there. And it's Danny Glover and Big Lex from the Neutral Corner, presented by Fight Fan TV Live.
Wait, can I ask you a question? Can I be Big Spider? You lot Big Danny, Big Lex. What's going on? What's that? I'm not eating enough.
You don't want the added bonus.
Yeah,
I
now you
feel
a
like
man,
I'm
you get
big.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't want to be the man. I just
Sorry.
want to be big. Than everyone else.
Joined with Big Craig Richards,
Cheers! Yeah, that was big.
former sergeant, the current general boxer.
Come on. Yeah, it is.
And
already.
remember, persistence beats resistance. And as you like to say,
We working.
Cheers, we working. Come on.